Facebook world. I am really excited to connect with you tonight on tip number 3. So I'm going to wait just a minute to give you some time to hop on, share in your group pages, or tag a few people that you know need to hear this, because this is one of the things that I really wish I had known sooner. Now, if you've watched number 1 and number 2, then you've heard most of our story. You have probably resonated with the last video, which was all about growing in confidence, because I know I certainly wasn't a 10 when I got started. But this one is specifically about a belief that I had when I first started with the business that absolutely changed. Like, it completely changed, you guys. I started out thinking one thing, and as I grew in the business, I grew a whole new brain cell, and it changed everything for me. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, certainly please feel free to leave a comment. I am going to take a minute at the end to go through any questions that you have, but I'm really excited to share with you, so I'm going to go into it. My name is Denise, and I have been on this journey for 10 years. I was 26 years old when I got started, and man, time has absolutely gone by so fast, and I have grown so much. I'm certainly not the person that I was 10 years ago. I feel like I'm better, you know. But what I love is that this was not in my wheelhouse when I first got started. As you know, I was a clinical psychologist. I went to 6 years of college. I graduated with my master's. I thought I was off to change the world. And yeah, the corporate world was not all that it was cracked up to be. Now, Brandon, on the other hand, has always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So let's talk about being an entrepreneur. Because when I started with It Works, I feel like I was more of an employee mindset, which isn't bad. I feel like it's what we're taught. You know, an employee mindset. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. Clock in, clock out. You know, sometimes it's like engaged and then not engaged. You know, you're like, all right, party time, weekend, I'm going to do family stuff, whatever. And it was like this clock in, clock out mentality. And it was more like, I don't really know what to do, so just tell me what to do it, and I'll do it. And so I was an employee mindset. Brandon, on the other hand, was always wanted to be an entrepreneur. He had the entrepreneur mindset. He was able to see a vision that wasn't quite there and make it come to fruition. Now, when we were working our full-time jobs, he looked at a ton of different ways we could own our own business. He knew that owning our own business was going to be an amazing way to either, number one, add additional income outside of our JOBs. It's like, if you're going to have a hobby, if you're going to, do something on nights and weekends, you might as well make money for it. So or it could replace our jobs and really be a way to set ourselves apart and create that financial freedom that we were looking for. So we looked at franchises. And if you've ever owned a franchise or you know much about franchising, when you own a McDonald's or a Subway or whatever it is, you have to pay like $50,000 to have the brand, to get all the marketing materials, to be trained on how to run the store. And then a lot of times you're married to the store for a season of time as you grow up managers and things like that can eventually, the goal, right, is for it to run for you. But for a while, you are married to the store, and you've got tons of overhead. I mean, you've got to pay for lights, internet, what else? Like food, cleaning services, your employees, you're paying all of that. So that's a ton of overhead with a lot of work at the beginning. And for us, our middle class budget wasn't something that we could really afford to do. A lot of times, too, with a franchise, you will end up getting financing from a bank, and then you are in debt, you know what I mean, and you just kind of work yourself out of it, which it can be an amazing, lucrative business if you're able to afford that. The other thing was startups. I mean, we could have certainly chosen to pick our own product. We could, think of a dog, I always say dog walking, or, making bracelets or jewelry, or, you can choose something to market yourself, create it yourself, which again, you then have a bunch of upfront costs. You then have the shipping, customer service. if you want to go into different countries and if there's any legalities there, you're the person that's talking to those countries. You're getting things approved. I mean, there's a lot of upfront costs when it comes to starting your own business out of your garage or basement. I mean, even Amazon started in a garage. So a lot of times startups start there, and that's good, okay. But for us, it wasn't reasonable. We didn't have a product that we wanted to market in that way. And then, we looked into real estate. But again, you have to have money to make money. So real estate, we looked at the stock market, and most of those things you would either need a bunch of cash up front. So, we looked at all these different ways that we could own our own business, have another stream of income coming in that could grow exponentially for us. So we were starting to look down this path, and we kept coming into dead ends. So when I tried the wrap, I saw that it worked, and I got excited about the products because I've always been interested in health and wellness. You guys know I've run a few marathons. I just did a bodybuilding show. I've worked out my whole life, I was doing what I want, I was trying to be healthy, etc. And so I got excited about the preventative health supplements that we have. And then Brandon got excited about the business. And he started to see the dollar signs. So number one, there's little to no overhead. You don't have to carry inventory. You don't end up having a wrap room stocked with shelves and do your own shipping. You don't have to do anything like that. Corporate ships for us. We've got the marketing supplies are already done for us as well. We don't have to, certainly we can be creative. We don't have to recreate the wheel. It's like the wheel has already been created, like we know it works. So do it, right? We don't have to figure that stuff out. We don't have to worry about logistics, and we can have a worldwide business without having to do all of the logistical government regulations, all that kind of stuff. So let's see, what else? I have my notes here. Yeah, affordable startup, minimal monthly overhead, work from anywhere. Oh, and then the difference maker for us was the flagship product that nobody else has. Because when you think about your competition, no matter what type of business you're in, they always say location, 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 timing, timing, timing. So for us, it was like product, 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 timing, timing, timing. And when we were looking at the product, we were like, okay, what's our competition? Our competition is like there's nothing that's our competition. Because our body wraps are a site-specific body wrap. You put it anywhere you want to tone, tighten, and firm, and it's like an at-home spa treatment. Typical salon wraps are head to toe, mud, seaweed. They are, known for being dehydration wraps, where you just eat a tomato, drink some water, it comes right back. Ours is very, very different. So it's like creating its own category. People don't have a brain cell for this wrap quite yet. And the price point. So the price point on all of our products, not just the flagship product, but all of the products are very well priced. It's something that people can marry to, they can continue to consume, they'll fall in love with, and they can continue to order because it's not astronomical with, a normal working family, right? So we realized that things were starting to line up. That this was a way for us to own our own business, market a product, get excited about something without having the overhead, the upfront costs, and trying to figure out all of the logistics sides. Now, I want to mention something that happened to me when I first got started. So I was telling my family about our new business, and again, I had never done this before, and my family had never done this before, and so they didn't quite understand it. And my brother said to me, he said, "Is this a pyramid scheme?" And I was like, I don't think so. And so I started to do some homework. And I think whenever you get a question that you feel uncomfortable with or maybe kind of takes you off guard, do your own homework, because then you can come back with a confident answer. And what I learned is that a pyramid scheme, you guys, does not have any product. They're saying something like, give me money and I'll give you money back and it'll be more. But there's no product, and pyramid schemes are actually illegal. So the FTC shuts them all down. You're not allowed to be a pyramid scheme, and we're certainly not, because we focus on our customers. We've got an amazing product line. We are just selling the products, you know what I mean? And we're helping other people do the same thing. And so when I realized that this was a true business venture that this was actually a smart way to add extra income into your family. I mean, this was our plan B that turned into our plan A, you know, like everybody should have multiple streams of income because you just never know what's going to happen. And so once I realized that what I had my hands on was just as good as a franchise, just as good as real estate, just as good at some of these other things that we were looking into, but yet I could afford it and I could teach people how to do it too, it was like a no-brainer for me. Now, the other thing that kind of was the icing on the cake was when we really got to know the CEO and the leadership of the company. We had the privilege of being able to hang out with them when they had the home office here in Grand Rapids, and we just fell in love. I mean, we're like, if you're going to ever do something like this, to trust and know the ownership and the leadership of the company is huge. And we know they have our back and we have their back 110% because they are, I always say, Cindy is the heart of the company. She is so humble and is just a prayer warrior for our business, and she knows what this type of business venture can do for normal families. It's not just, you know, the ultra wealthy that get to make more money. It's like we were normal corporate people, like living, you know, just doing our thing and bored out of our minds, and we were able to thrive here. And they were a teacher and stay-at-home mom, like living paycheck to paycheck, and they were able to thrive in their first company. And so they've got, you know, they know the hard work, but they also have huge vision, which I've been able to experience as well. With that being said, when we started 10 years ago, I'm going to sound like a total grandma saying this, but we didn't have it easy. You guys, we didn't. We didn't have smartphones. I had a flip phone, you know, that I like kind of texted on. We used to MapQuest our way to parties. So I would honestly MapQuest my way to a party and then forget to MapQuest my way home. And then I'd get home, I'd get in the car and it would be dark out. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to get home now. My mom would say, bring a map. I'm like, oh, those are so old school, right? We didn't have a ton of marketing materials. We didn't even have a ton of products. We certainly didn't have Facebook or social media. I mean, things have totally changed. They like to say that we blitzed uphill both ways with no blitz cards. Just kidding. That's our coupon card for those that don't know. We did. I have got a few. This is our old material. It was like purple and green. I've got a few other things. The flowers, remember the leaves, you guys? I know. And then we got, boom, the It Works. When my son sees this logo and knows that it's the It Works logo and he's 6, you know you've done a good thing. We are branding ourselves. So, you know, it wasn't easy when we first got started, but what we decided once I realized that this wasn't something weird, that this was just a way for me to own our own business, and checks started coming in, and I was helping people get product and, you know, be healthier. I was helping people start their business and make money themselves. When I realized this was just a way for us to own our own business, and we could work it whenever we wanted from our home, we could schedule appointments, whatever. We decided to treat it like a business. So, you guys, when you work it like a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby. When you work it like a business, you'll get paid like a business. So think about if you were going to open a franchise or a startup, or, you know, start a boutique in your neighborhood, or open a grocery store, or start selling Girl Scout cookies. You know what I mean? Like, when you work it like a business, it pays you like a business. So that's what we did. We intentionally carved out time each and every day, and we didn't have kids at this point. So after work from like 5 to midnight, we would work our business. From our lunch hour, noon to 1, I would make a point to do a few calls. Brandon would actually get his work done at work super fast, like it was motivating for him at work, so he could work his business as well. And we just started taking action. That's what we did, honestly. We just took action. And we didn't know what we were doing, but we learned every single step of the way. And I remember calling leads super nervous, like people would request information, or they would, you know, it would be a expo lead or a party, you know, sign-in sheet. And I remember being so nervous and like gearing myself up to call them back. But you guys, I just did it. I did it anyway. And I realized that I don't work this business based on what I feel, because there were times I was absolutely terrified. Or I would rather watch, go on a date night with my husband than go to the party. Or I would rather, that's just normal. But what I realized is that I don't work this business based on how I feel. I work this business based on what I want. And I did not want to be in that job anymore. I did not want to be stuck. I did not want to be a stuck-at-home mom. When I had kids, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to be engaged in their lives, but I didn't want to be a stuck-at-home mom. And so these drives, just like these whys, kept fueling my fire, and I would do things anyway. So I would feel nervous or feel scared, and I'd do it anyway. I would, book my calendar, even though I didn't quite know what I was doing, and then I'd figure it out before that day came. But a lot of that came from the confidence I built in It Works and in the industry, because I knew what we had was good. I know the products are good. I know they work. I know the business model works, and I'm excited and confident in sharing it. So, let's see, any other notes that I need to mention? So yes, okay, so the big lesson is that 99%, like going in 99% always gives you a way out. So if you're halfway in and you're going, what should I do today? Should I work my business, or should I, I always say, watch The Bachelor? Should I, sit on the couch and read a book, or should I call my leads? You always have an out if you're 99% in. We say 99% is a bear. It's hard. It's actually harder to be 99% in, because you always are wrestling with that question. Should I work my business or should I not? And the beautiful thing is that Brandon and I decided together that we were 100% in. So at night, we both worked our business. On the weekends, if I had a party or an expo, he was like, high five, see you later, good luck, let me know how it goes. He would text me things like, hope you're having fun, or you're doing so good, I'm proud of you, things like that when I was out doing parties or expos, or driving 2 or 3 hours one way to go to a party and then come straight back. He was supportive of me. And so because we were 100% in, we didn't have the decision to make. We just did it because we knew that's what we were doing. That's what we were going to do. So that's my thought for today. This is a true business. This is not anything weird. It's a business. It's a true business venture that allows you to make money no matter where you are, because you're marketing a product, and the corporate end has all of the logistic and the hard stuff, right? We just get to be the exciting piece of sharing our story and helping others, and be 100% in. Once you're 100% in, I can tell you, you'll see results when you're consistent. So I'm going to see if there's any questions here, and thank you guys so much. Let's see. Oh, Alyssa says her 16-month-old recognizes the logo too. Isn't it so funny? I love it. Aw, you guys are so nice. You know what? And I believe that almost all of us have heard the pyramid scheme thing before. And to be honest, when I hear that now, I don't take it seriously, because I think that they're ignorant. That may sound bad, but I'm like, you obviously don't even know what a pyramid scheme is if you're asking me that question. This is a business. This is a viable business. So when somebody says that to me, which they don't anymore, honestly, but if they do, I don't even take it seriously, because they just don't even know what they're talking about. It's like asking... They're just saying it because they think it sounds smart, or they think it's the thing to say, but they don't even know what it is. So I usually just say, actually, this is a business. So if you want to own a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, this is a great way to do it. So, isn't that so funny? All right. Keep it up, Alyssa. You can do it. Momentum is created by months compounding on each other. So it's not just a week of hard work. It's consistently for months. Consistent hard work. Just like with anything, you'll see it start to compound. And it's a really, really powerful thing. So my recommendation to all of you here is to go in 100%, because your life is going to change, and so are the lives of everybody around you. So Thank you guys so much for plugging in. Have an awesome, awesome night.